Okay, now we'll continue the chapter in our second part, that is the rise of nationalism in Europe. When France sneezes, all of Europe catches cold. This is a statement which is given by um, Metternich, and this is a very important concept because this statement is in generally comes in board examination to explain. So let us discuss what does it actually mean. It means that the events that occur in France will have direct effect on the other European countries. After the French Revolution of 1789, revolutionary spirit spread all over Europe. The French Revolution spread liberal ideas like liberty, fraternity, and equality among the European countries. Jacobin clubs were formed in many countries. After a revolution in France in 1830, similar revolutions occurred in Belgium, Greece, and other countries. The Greek War of Independence. Greek nationalists got support from Greeks living in exile and also from other Europeans. They all had sympathy towards ancient Greek culture. Poet and artists called Greece the cradle of European civilization and mobilized public opinion in support of the struggle against a Muslim empire. Lord Bryan collected funds and participated in the fight for freedom. The Treaty of Constantinople, signed in 1832, gave freedom to Greece. Role of culture in promoting nationalism. Romanticism, a culture movement, considered common culture as the basis of a nation. Folk culture, such as folk songs, poetry, and folk dances, showed the true spirit of nationalism. They were prompted. The idea of a nation was expressed through songs, stories, poems, and paintings. Vernacular language were also used to create national identity. Economic hardship that Europe faced during 1830s. Rapid growth of population resulted in large-scale poverty and unemployment in European countries. Rural people immigrated in large number of urban areas. This resulted in the growth of slums. Small producers faced competition from the machine-made goods that came from England. Many small production units were closed. In some places, aristocracy continued to be powerful. Peasants had to pay feudal dues. During the periods of bad harvest, food prices increased. German unification. This you can see the Germany before unification. Otto von Bismarck. The efforts by the middle class to build a united German ended in failure. Persia took over the leadership of German unification movement. The Chief Minister of Persia, Otto von Bismarck, started efforts to build a German nation. He succeeded in defeating Austria, Denmark, and France in wars. In January 1871, a united German nation was established with the Persian king, Kaiser William I, as the emperor. Efforts made by the liberal middle class for the unification of Germany. The liberal middle class met at Frankfurt, formed an all-German National Assembly on 1848. 831 elected representatives attended Frankfurt Parliament meeting in the church at St. Paul. They drafted a constitution for a German nation with a constitutional monarch. They offered the position of king to Frederick William IV, king of Persia. The king rejected the offer and along with other kings opposed the elected assembly. The parliament mostly consisted of middle class. They lost the support of the ordinary people. Finally, the rulers succeeded in dissolving the assembly with the help of army. Italy before unification. in this whole slide you can see how slowly and steadily Italy was getting freedom from different kingdoms, and this is how it was lastly united. 3rd February 1831, Rome became the capital. So Italy before unification, Italy was divided into several kingdoms and a multinational hub, Habsburg Empire. During the middle of the 19th century, Italy was divided into 7 states. Sardinia, Piedmont was ruled by an Italian king. The north was under Habsburg Empire. The center was ruled by the Pope, and the southern region were under the domination of the Bourbon kings of Spain. Italian language did not acquire common form. It had many regional variations. In 1830, Mazzini tried to unite Italy. He formed a secret society called Young Italy to achieve his goals. His efforts ended in failure. After 1848, the King of Sardinia, Piedmont, Victor Emmanuel II, took over the leadership of Italian unification movement. Cavour, the chief minister of Sardinia, started efforts to build a united Italy with the support of France. He succeeded in defeating Austria in 1859. Armed volunteers led by Garibaldi helped Cavour to defeat the kingdom of two Sicilies. They also got the support of local peasants. In 1861, a united Italy was established with Victor Emmanuel II as the emperor. Unification of Britain. English, Welsh, Scot and Irish ethnic groups lived in British Island. In 1688, the English Parliament captured power from the monarch. In 1707, the United Kingdom of Great Britain was formed by the unification of England and Scotland. British Parliament was dominated by English members. The Scots were suppressed. Ireland was forcefully taken by Britain after the failure of a revolution led by the Wolfe Tone. A strong British nation with a flag and a national anthem was established. Other ethnic groups were suppressed. This you can see freedom, fraternity and federation, and this is how they celebrated it. Visualizing the nation. In order to spread national spirit, the nationalists made symbols personification of the idea of nation. From 1789, females appeared in paintings as symbol of liberty and revolution. The French revolutionaries created the image of Marine. She represented the French nation. Marine's statue were erected in public places, and her images were marked on coins and stamps. Germania became the symbol of German states. She is wearing a crown of oak leaves. Oak represents heroism. French artists use symbols like red cap and broken chains for freedom. They use the image of a lady with the balance in hand as a symbol of justice, which you can see in the next slide. So these are the symbols which they used to show freedom. Nationalism and imperialism. Nationalism promoted imperialism. Extreme nationalism developed in Europe in the last part of the 19th century. Nationalism lost its liberal democratic outlook and became narrow. Nationalists became intolerant to the other nations and people. European rulers made use of nationalist feelings in order to achieve their imperialist goal. Growth of extreme nationalism and the fall of Ottoman Empire created conflicts and troubles in the Balkan. Balkan states won freedom, and then they started fighting against each other over the question of sharing territories. Extreme nationalism and imperialism ambition created several conflicts between the major European powers. All this resulted in the outbreak of the First World War. You can see the Balkan crisis in front of you. This is the map which shows how people were reacting in every front. Bulgaria, Albania, Greece, Macedonia, Slovenia, Serbia and Montenegro. The people of Balkans were known as the Slavs. The Balkans was under the control of the Ottoman Empire. The spread of romantic nationalism in the Balkans together with the decline of the Ottoman Empire made this region very explosive. The Balkan states declared freedom and became independent nations. The conflict started between Balkan states over the sharing of the territories. The interference of the big European powers in the Balkan issue created more conflicts. All these led to the outbreak of the First World War.